going to be showcasing my July 2020 Mermail deck profile. Now this deck profile, it's not going to be too different from the one I showed last month in June, and chances are the one in August is not going to be very much different. So I'm not going to explain too many things in the deck. I'm just going to explain the things that I'm playing that aren't as standard and some other thought process that I have behind the deck. And even though I like to do a monthly test hand video, being that the test hands are going to be pretty much the same as last month since this deck is just Halqifibrax Turbo, I'm probably just going to make a video showcasing some combos with how the cards that I'm playing that aren't as common other decks interact with the deck. So let's just get right into this. So starting off with the main deck, really nothing too special here. We have the most important card to start off though. We have the triple Neptibus, the triple Diva, the triple Dragoons, the triple Minstrel, and the single Lapis Dragon. This is like the main engine, so to say, as I knock something over there. Sorry about that. But yeah, Neptibus is the main part of the deck. It's one card combo on its own. Diva, same thing, one card combo on its own. But you know, pretty much every line you're going into with these cards you see here is going into Neptibus in some way, shape, or form. Lapis Dragon is the tuner of choice if you don't get to Diva, or if you need another tuner in general for other plays, or another body. Minstrel is great to get some information on your opponent's hand. One thing that people don't seem to really realize with Minstrel is not only is it good to see your opponent's hand or a hand trap, it does not replace Call by the Grave, but part of the reason why it's so good is because it allows so many one-card combos with Neptibus or Diva because it's a single discard for Dragoons that is searchable because of the Sea Serpent. So even though in some hands when you're using it, you're not ripping a hand trap, it's still needed to go through those combos, and the fact that it allows you to play through hand traps just makes it that much better. So those are the main monsters, so to say, of the deck. Then for the more support cards, I guess, double Atlantean Heavy Infantry it could be an extender. People like to see it as an extender. I personally don't view this card as an extender. It's really just another name that has Atlantean in the name for Adaptibus in case you draw multiple Dragoons. Because let's say you draw double Dragoons, you need another Atlantean in deck to send or add. It allows you to pop cards, and it can be an extender, although it is rather risky since you have to normal summon it. Hope you don't get ashed, or hope you don't get impermanence rather, because ash won't do anything. And then get your extra normal summon on your Diva. Rather risky as an extender, but still a good card. I think you should play at least one, so we'll play three. This is one of the few cards that I feel like you play 1 to 3, as long as you play at least one, because you need at least one other Atlantean name, and the one that pops face down, Marksman, isn't that good right now. Onto the Mermail, you know, the part of the deck that's really has a name. One Megalo, triple Abyss Teus, and the single Abyss Mander. So even though this deck is a Mermail deck, even though I still refer to it as Mermail because this is my main deck that I've been playing since 2013, by the way, if you guys don't know. The deck is a lot less reliant on the Mermail monsters now than ever. What I mean by that is you really don't need these cards in the deck anymore. The cards you really need for the quote-unquote Mermail deck or Water Turbo deck are like these ones. You just need Prince Turbo pretty much. Atlantean Turbo, so to say. These are just more support cards. Megalo is not needed at all. It's more of like a player's choice option. I like it because it's another searchable Sea Serpent that can trigger Dragoons. That can also be an extender, which is kind of nice. Helps make Borla Savage Dragon in really weird hands. Also going second, you know, Megalo can attack twice. That's really, really good. If you have the basic like Diva plus, I forget the combo exactly. I think it's just Diva alone is an OTK with Megalo because you like tribute the Prince, bring back Dragoons, attack, whatever. Anyway, and then we have the triple Mander, or excuse me, the triple Teus and the one Mander. So I think Teus is probably one of the best extenders in this entire deck. And that's pretty much what Abyss Teus has been relegated to. In previous Mermail decks, Abyss Teus was so great because it pretty much facilitated every single combo. In the past, if you had just Diva or just Prince, you really couldn't get that far, unlike now. But in the past, if you have Diva Prince plus Teus, you can do so many combos. There's extra link combos, Orcus combos, so many things this card provided. Now it's just an extender. But you pretty much have to play at least another small Mermail to get the full value out of it, because when you summon it, you search one. And a lot of people like to play Pike. Pike is good. It's a normal summon that you can discard one to search for a level 3 water. But the issue with Pike is it's really only good if you have Dragoons. Where with this, I'm playing this because with Mulan, next card by the way, you can make VFD. Well, you could make VFD another way with this card if you really want to. That's not really the main focus to make VFD. You can make a rank 8 with Teus and Mulan Glacia thanks to the Mander. So I'll talk more about that later, but probably in a different video. I still like it. Not needed, but still pretty fun. Then for some extender cards, we have the double Crusadia Arborea and the triple Water Tenny. This is different from last month's profile. Last month I was playing the Shark Stickers. Shark Stickers is still a very good extender. The issue I have with Shark Stickers is it's only level 3 and doesn't really do much. Whereas with the Tendy Spirit Shinada, if you have this plus a Dragoons, use special this Tendy Spirit, normal summon Dragoons, overlay for Bahamut Shark, bring out Toad, and get Lapis Dragon, so you can play under Nibiru. It's a really, really strong card. Unfortunately, making the Bahamut Shark plays isn't as relevant in this variant of the deck as it was, say, a couple of months ago when we played Ahashima and Cross Sheep and 3 Instant Fusion and stuff like that. But I still think it's really, really viable, not only as an extender, but with Dragoons. Like, I think that this with Dragoons is arguably better than just having the one Neptibus, just because it gets you the extra Toad. And with this deck, sure, putting up a VFD is great, but if you have something else to back up that VFD, specifically a spell Trap Negate like Toad, that's really, really awesome. Transversely, if you're in a situation where VFD is not good in the matchup and you put up the standard Savage Arc-like board, which is 2 negates, that's only 2 negates, one of which they can just attack over really easily, and then main phase 2 they can combo and not have to worry about 1 negate in the board load Savage Dragon. Where with this, you get the Savage, the Arc-like, and a Toad, and having that one extra negate, I feel like the difference between 3 and 4 negates is huge, especially if you mull them, make them discard 2. Because then they have 4 cards against 3 negates, versus 4 cards against 2 negates, which is a lot easier to play out of. So that's why I like the Tendy Spirit a lot. Really, really strong card. Playing 3 is a bit annoying because it can clog, but you really want to see it with the Dragoons. Then we have one of the few proxies, the one Mecha Fanbase O-Line. Still don't have this. I'm going to pick it up once the reprints come out and this card drops in price, but it's needed for a lot of combos. I only play 1 because it's a little bit risky to play 1, I guess you could say. You could definitely argue playing 2, because if you draw it, you sort of limit yourself out of some combos you can do, but being the way the Pack Shark is structured, if I do draw this, I can at least make Appaloosa and maybe something else, which is something, but definitely a strong argument for playing 2 of these, just because if you draw 1, it's not really that great. Anyway, then I'm playing the one Jet Synchron, so I'm playing this over Despot 001 for 2 reasons. 1, I don't have a Despot 001, and 2, because of the combo that I'll show in a later video with the Abyss Teus and the Abyss Mander to make an extra rank 8 in your play, you need to discard the Mander somehow. And with Despot 001, you don't discard, where with Jet Synchron you do. So there's definitely arguments for both. The discard doesn't really come up that much as a bad thing. Like, you're always, like, since most of your combos are 1-card combos, you're gonna have other cards in your hand, so it's not that bad. But there definitely is a very, very strong argument for the Despot being better, especially if you do not play any of the rank 8 packages, and I highly recommend playing Despot over this. Really up to you. Then we have the hand traps, one of my favorite parts about the deck. I don't typically play hand traps in Mermail decks, but I feel like with this current format it's kind of needed. And again, like I was saying earlier, if you're playing a deck that puts up 2 negates, having extra interruptions is really great, and the hand traps can act as those extra interruptions. So, we're playing 2 Ash, 2 Veiler, and the 1 Ghost Ogre. So, little bit of a weird hand trap lineup. Reason why I'm playing, first off, 5 hand traps is like a good number, because that means you have a 50% chance of opening one in a 5-card hand in a 40-card deck. And I'm playing 3 different names because I don't want to have multiple of the same names. Like, for example, Veiler is fine if you have multiples because it's not hard ones per turn, but Ash is a hard one per turn, so you don't really want to see multiples. And also, another thing about mainly Ghost Ogre is when you go second, or excuse me, when you go first, right, and you put up your board, and let's say you have VFD, having a Veiler with a VFD doesn't really do anything, whereas having an Ash with a VFD is a lot better because it can stop a spell or trap or something like that that's not on the field. And same thing with Ogre, and it's a different name, so you have to worry about drawing multiples, where Ogre, although it's not the best hand trap right now, it doesn't, like, it's not redundant with VFD, which is why I'm trying it out right now. And I like it. Ogre is one of my favorite hand traps. It's also, you know, going first is still pretty good because you hit the Halqifibrax, you hit some other things, and it can, you know, mess up some of their plays. There's argument for playing DD Crow. DD Crow is a pretty good hand trap this format. Impermanence is over the Veilers, of course, I just don't have them. Really up to you. I do like these guys though because they're all tuners, and you can 1-for-1 out the effect Veiler as an extender if you get hand trapped in their combo. Basically, the fact that these are tuners is actually pretty relevant. So, pretty cool, pretty cool. Onto the spells. Still playing Triple Call by the Grave. There is an argument to cut these. Minstrel, in my opinion, still does not necessarily replace this card, but having extra ways to play through hand traps, having extra interruptions, and just setting this if you go first and don't need it is pretty good. The 1 Rhoda to act as the 3rd Arborea basically, so we're playing 6 extenders, thins the deck out by 1. The 1-1-for-1 to get our Neptibus out, or transversely, if you normal summon, say, let's say you have a really weird hand, and you have like Infantry, Random Monster, 1-for-1, 2 dead cards. Let's say you normal summon the Infantry, hoping to normal summon something else, and they, you know, Veil you or something, you could 1-for-1, discard the dead monster, bring up the Veiler, and then you have a tuner and a non-tuner. There you go, Halqifibrax. Well, Halqifibrax can be with 2 tuners, but you know what I mean. And last but not least, 2 Moray of Greed. So I'm playing this to help with consistency a little bit. Sure, the deck does a lot of one-card combos, and sure, the deck is already really, really consistent, but I still like it because it makes the deck just that little bit more consistent. I have thought about playing Pot of Avarice instead. Now, I don't think Pot of Avarice and Mario of Greed are comparable cards, so to say, because they do very, very different things. Pot of Greed allows you to draw extra cards at the end of your combo, which could be hand traps, which is great. Also allows you to have a little bit more longevity, shuffling back your Atlantean Dragoons, whereas Mario of Greed just fixes your hand. Doesn't get you a plus, unlike Pot of Avarice, but Mario of Greed is activated up at the start of your turn, while Pot of Avarice is not, and Pot of Avarice is more likely to agree with bricks than Mario of Greed. Both really, really good cards. I would love to play Avarice if I could, just don't have the space, and I value having the Mario of Greed over it. But if you want to play Avarice, it is a fantastic card, especially if you play hand traps in your deck, because, oh my god, if you put up, like, VFD or 2-3 negates, then you Pot of Avarice, shuffle your good cards back, and draw an Ash Blossom, that's just amazing. That just feels so good. Onto the extra deck now. We have the one Halqifibrax, of course, the one Aurodon, the Savage, the Arclight, the VFD, the Crocosaur, Vermilion Dragon Mech, Coral Dragon, and this is a proxy for Garden Rose Maiden. Garden Rose Maiden is the card that basically special summons back your Coral Dragon from the graveyard, so you make a second rank 9 or second level 9 synchro play for your rank 9 True King of all Calamities. These are all, you know, the Halqifibrax combo, whatever. You can argue that these two synchros right here are not needed, and you can just go pure VFD, because in most situations VFD is better, but I like having the option to put on multiple negates if I need it, which is why I put the Savage and the Arclight. Not much else to say. This is like the skeleton, so to say, except, you know, again, with these cards being argued not being needed for the modern combo Mermail deck. And then we have a lot of the flex spots, so to say. All of these are interchangeable for the most part. We have one of my favorite cards, Lorenzo's Coral Enemy. This card going second allows you to OTK easier, allows you to bridge together weird plays going first if you get interrupted. Very strong card, doesn't come up a lot. There's really no like specific combos with this card in my build because I don't play Abyss Spike, but it's a really strong card nonetheless that I like having in my deck. The one Almirage, which I don't know if I was playing last time, but Almirage is really good because let's say you normal summon your Deep Sea Diva, and your opponent goes, haha, Ash Blossom, and you have nothing else in your hand, or nothing else you can really do about that. But let's say you have Rhoda or Arborea, or let's say you have 1-for-1 and you have your Veiler in your deck. What you can do is you can just link this into Almirage, special summon the Arborea. There's the Halqifibrax combo. Or you can just 1-for-1 out the Effect Veiler and then go into Halqifibrax. Base of this deck is Halqifibrax Turbo. That's pretty much the deck. Then we have the Bahamut Shark and the Toad, of course, to get each other out. The one Hope Harbinger is my rank 8 of choice because this deck can bring out the rank 8s thanks to Abyss Manor, and you do not need to use Abyss Megalo for it. So if you want to play a rank 8 but don't want to play Megalo because Megalo is not needed, there you go. And then the fancy proxy Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. I don't think I was playing this in the last build, but I decided to play it again just because there's a lot of instances, like I said before, where if you draw the O-Lion, you have to put up negates, so you can put up this, or transversely, you have a lot of or if you have a lot of really good cards in your hand, a lot of extenders, you can just make this, and your opponent kind of cries because you have this on top of everything else. So that's it for the deck profile. Really nothing too special, too different. Really, really fun deck. Obviously, my favorite deck of all time. I've been playing this deck as my main deck since I first built it in 2013. Granted, I did take a hiatus from Yu-Gi-Oh! From about 2014, 2018, but still, absolutely love this deck. In terms of some things I don't like about this deck, though, one thing that I don't like about the current iteration, not that it's necessarily a bad thing, is the deck is rather linear now. It's pretty much just Halqifibrax, and that's it. If you don't put up Halqifibrax, you're not putting up a board, which is why I haven't messed around with some other decks. So you will see another deck profile of a different deck pretty soon, of a deck that I have a lot of fun with. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all next time, and bye-bye.